quite a morning already. Man, some response from all of you as regards Oliver Hartwich and a number of other columnists in the country suggesting that we're just a bit stuffed in New Zealand right now. We're not in crisis. We're going backwards. We've never got over COVID. And a number of people, including Bruce Cottrell, who writes for the Herald, just came back from Perth and he said how lovely it was to be in a city that wasn't full of roadworks and homeless people, that wasn't down on its luck, that wasn't struggling. But I'll tell you, not all is perfect in Australia. As we try to come to terms with the free speech issues and the women's rights issues posed by our appalling treatment of Kelly J. Keane Minchell, otherwise known as Posey Parker, at Albert Park, as our government continues to push for hate speech laws, when hate speech seems to be coming from the government and its supporters. As we approach this Friday and the the National Bullying Day, Anti-Bullying Day, is being fronted by Chanel Lau, the extreme trans activist who organised the baying mob at Albert Park. He has been supported by a government-supported program against bullying, which is just full of irony. But don't think New Zealand is the only country where Posey Parker's visit and her stand on women's issues hasn't caused some ongoing friction or problems or change perhaps for the better. In Australia, we have the unusual situation where a representative who stood up in Victoria for Kelly J. Keane and for Posey Parker has been booted out of the Liberal Party, and she is suing the head of that party for defamation. And to find out the continuing downstream from Kelly J's visit to Australia, we are joined again by video link by Rachael Wong, the head of Women's Forum Australia. Rachael, lovely to see you again. Welcome back to the platform.
Good morning, Sean. Thank you for having me.
All right. Now, let's just talk about what's happening with Moira Deeming. Give us some background on this story and what is going down in Victoria.
Okay, so for those who have been following, we know that Moira spoke at Kelly J. Keane's rally back in March about women's rights, women's safety, particularly in the face of biological males who are trying to identify into their sports spaces and so on. She was there with a number of other women. The event got gate crashed by neo-Nazis, and the leader of the Liberal Party and others used that to basically say that she was associated with Nazis somehow, to say that she was either a Nazi herself or a Nazi sympathiser. And then everything sort of got rolling from there. They tried to expel her. The original motion didn't have support in the party room, so they ended up suspending her for 9 months instead, a suspension that she only accepted because she wanted to clear her name. So there were no grounds for the suspension. She knew that, but the flack that she was getting and the flack that her children and her family were getting, she was just like, I can't put up with this. Like, I have to have my name cleared from these horrendous slurs. So she accepted the suspension on the condition that she would be reinstated at the end of the year and that a joint media statement would be made with the leader of the party, John Pasuto. Now, 6 or 7 weeks later, that never happened. And so she issued him an ultimatum and said, look, this is the one key thing that I asked for. If you can't do this, then I'm going to have to challenge the suspension and bring legal action. He didn't back down. Other members of